Hey, yo, man, what time is it?
You know what time it is, man.
2 a.m.?
Yeah, man.
Man, you know what?
What's up?
It's 8:46, bro.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, you know what time that is.
Yeah, man.
Nappy head,
Yo,
Funk Army.
what's up?
Stand up. Get in line, y'all.
Yo, folks, drop that beat.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah, man.
We bringing this funk just for you.
You know,
Repeat after me. Say it. You don't have to be the best. Just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best.
you don't.
Just gotta outlast the rest.
No, you
You don't have to be the best. Just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best. Just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. I'ma say that again for you. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Here we go, y'all. Now let me tell you a little story about United We Stand. It says we're gonna funk across this funkless land. We gon' stand up and let our voices be heard. We ain't gonna let nobody stop us from spreading the spiritual word. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. We need everybody in the house to join us on this one, alright? Y'all say, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Are y'all out there? You feeling me? United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. United we stand, divided we fall. Funkin' with the poor people most of all, as they poison our mind with food control. Third eye is wide, sacrifice. Wake up and see what they doing to you and me. Keeping a separate product of Illuminati, like the jail cell did my boss John Gotti. Dirty politics and high-priced prostitution reside in all the important positions. Just look around at the injustice in the world. Some forced to live in the deplorable conditions. Watch us, watch what we do. This rap is coming up just for you. So sit back, relax, check on our phone calls. The nappy hip hop army always bumping in your drum. Twitter, tweet, the TikTok. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. A movement, genocide and homicide is happening all around the world.
What up? Promise me this, promise me that. All the fat cats stabbing us in the back. What up? Welcome to Funk from the Front Seat here on 9 on the Grind TV and Zach Robinson YouTube. We got a real special guest for you today. One of our recurring guests, one of my favorite people, my brother, my funk mentor, producer, and all this good stuff, man. And, you know, we go way, way back also. You know, he was an integral part of the Napier Funk Army in New York when we was pumping that. But, you know, before I tell you that, I just want to give a shout out to any birthdays out there. You know, I'm wearing my Bootsy glasses because Bootsy, yabba dabba dooza. I know your birthday's on Thursday, Bubba. So I'm going to give you an early shout out. And mad shouts out to everybody watching around the world. Brenda up in Ohio, hope you feel better. Joan, I know you watching, I hope you feel better. If you got birthdays or anniversaries, know that we care out there. And if you have somebody transition out, it's all good because they're in a higher spirit, higher place. We hurt for the pain down here, but we got to take their love and keep it going, man. So this brother today, Kevin Harrington, man, we're gonna be dropping some stuff. We got a link to his new clothing line that he's got, and his merch. And we're gonna be talking to this brother a little bit about how to self-promote, and also, man, how to own your brand, and things like that, because he has his own company, KHX Experiment, and he's working on that. And we're gonna show you a few of his videos. All right, so y'all check this out. Without further ado, my guy from Queens, by way of Philly, Mr. Kevin Harrington is in the front seat today.
Yo,
What up, man?
what's good, man? How you been?
I'm all right, man. Everything is beautiful, man.
Good,
How you
good.
feeling?
It's all good, man.
Good. Thank you for joining us today, man. I really appreciate it. You know,
pleasure to be here.
hey, man, it's all good, bro. I gotta have you on every 8 weeks. I gotta make sure I touch base. You know what I'm saying? I gotta see your face.
Cool, appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So how's the family doing and everything?
Everybody's good, man. Can't complain. Everybody's good. How about on your end?
Good. Yeah, everything is everything down here. Just trying to deal with this thing one day at a time, man. We got a lot to chop up today. We're going to get into some things, man. But before we do, I just want to give a shout out to somebody that shouted you out on Facebook. I don't know if you saw it, but Jeff gave you a shout out. Jeff Roberson.
Oh yeah, how's he doing, man?
Yeah.
Oh wow,
I was going through stuff. Yeah, so I figured I'd let you know because I know you're very busy. But
blessings to him, man. On what he's doing.
My God, yeah, he's
nice.
Yeah, see, and here's the thing, though. Like him and I already been talking about another project between the three of us too. So we got that. Yeah, man, we got that slated for 2024. Trust me.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm already like in 2024, bro. Yeah, we got to go. Yeah. But yeah, man, this music thing, man, that we do, you've been doing it for a long time. So for my audience, my first time is that, don't really know who you are and, it's not familiar with all the things that you've done. Give us a little bit of a background on how you came up, where you came from, and how you got into this whole thing, man.
Well, I'm from Jamaica, Queens, Funky for Jamaica. I'm sure everybody knows that song. I come from a church background, church family. I got into drums because I had an uncle in Georgia. I lived in Georgia for a year when I was in first grade, and he was on the drum line. So when I was starting first grade, he was actually graduating high school. So I got to see him play his senior year and watching practice and stuff like that. So that piqued my interest in drums. But it was years later until I got started because my younger uncle, his brother, got me into all the sports. So that kind of took the forefront. And when I got back to Queens, I had two drummers on my block. Richard Ruiz, who I would have to say is probably my mentor, and a drummer, Richard Currents, who was a little older. He was already on the pro level. So there was a band. He came out of Queens, Creative Funk.
Yeah.
They had a big record called Ready Made Family, which is like a classic.
Yeah. Everybody knew them.
Yeah. So, in Queens, we had nothing but bands. Every block had a band, maybe two. So, that's what got me started. I wanted to play drums. I come from a household of singers. I was the only one that played the instrument.
Right.
And drums at that, which ain't, quiet.
Nothing quiet, right?
Nothing quiet. But through years of that, the same getting in a band with two of my friends. One was Richard's brother, Victor, and a bass player friend of mine, Ronnie Harrison, who was a drummer himself. But we decided I was gonna play drums and he learned to play bass because we
Okay.
need a bass player.
Right.
You know, pat on the back to him. He just said,
Right.
"Oh, okay, we need a bass player. All right, I'll learn." You know, and yeah, if you get a chance, check his episode out on my podcast.
I will. I will.
Yeah, it was a good one. And from there, man, just wanting to do it. Like I said, Rich was probably my biggest influence. I could, go sit and watch him play. One of the more important things he taught me was who to listen to. So, I'm coming up, I'm listening to the radio. There's nothing wrong with that because that's where the pocket end came from.
That's right.
Listening, Funky George, name escapes me, the drummer from New Birth, Diamond from Ohio Players, just trying to mimic what was on the radio. And then Rich gave me my first Billy Cobham album, and that changed everything.
Copy.
That changed everything. Billy Cobham was either you want to be a drummer or you don't, because just the attempt at, you're like, oh, most people go, well, forget it. If I can't sound like that, then leave it alone. But the fact that Rich was playing like that,
yeah,
he was playing all that Cobham stuff. So
I know, right? That's fascinating all the time.
Right.
That's what's doing it.
Like, I want to do that, and he told me on Mile High Fish New Orchestra. Mind you, I'm 12.
Right.
So Mile High Fish, that took me even a deeper place. I said, Mile High Vishnu, good Lord. And this was with Cobham when the first draft. Then even in Narada later on when they got bigger. And just so much, man. Return to Forever. All the groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it just became that. Besides starting to play in local bands around the way, we had a lot of cats. I think I met Omar at 15, Omar Hakeem, playing at they was having a thing in Ajax Park with a bunch of bands. Right. He came and introduced himself to me. I had heard of him, but I had never met him. I used to see Marcus Miller playing at block parties, and once I got in this band with Warren McCrae, who was the MD for Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Right. So he comes from, the other side of Jamaica, and that's where Bernard Wright and all of them were.
Yeah.
All them cats. And yeah, man, it was a great time, man.
Queens was a hotbed. We used to on Long Island be afraid. I wasn't, but most people was afraid to go to Queens because they just felt like the musicians were just more superior. And I used to try to tell them, well, yeah, that could be true too, but also I think they're just exposed to more urban. Whereas Long Island, it was more country, it was more like rock, Zeppelin, and Edgar Winter, and that's where yeah, you know what I'm saying? So with us out there discovering our mother's finest roots and stuff like that first, and then we brought that vibe to the city. But I was always anxious to go. I was fortunate because my dad was a minister. So in Long Island, we used to go to Church Central Islip. We used to go to Brooklyn, Queens, and everything. When you go somewhere else, you just want to just lay in the cut and see what the musicians are doing, even as a kid, bro. And I said oh man, these guys are way much better than my church.
Yeah,
because I was playing Herbie Hancock in church, and we were playing the straight four,
My father wasn't a minister yet at that time, but later on he became one. But we was church hopping all the time.
Excuse me one second.
Yeah.
On my light, sorry.
We was church hopping all the time, so
yeah.
I'd always pay attention to. It's funny though, in church I paid more attention to who was playing keyboards than I did the drummers.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah.
By the time I started playing in church, because I had an aunt, my Aunt Carrie, rest in peace. She was a member of what they call one of James Cleveland's choirs.
God,
I forgot the name of them now. Triborough Mass.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So they had got nominated for a Grammy. She got to go out to the Grammys back then, early '80s, I believe. And so I was playing. We was in the church, and I would play for her.
Right.
Now, at that time, I'm trying to find somebody who knows who Chick Corea and them are.
Right.
So I came across one keyboard player came to church who knew who Chick was. And that was it.
Yeah.
So stuff that I was, wanted to play there, they had no idea what I was talking about. So
Yeah.
that's why I look at church now and go, well, now finally.
Yes, right, exactly. We was doing that. I tell these young guys, listen, you guys are doing fusion. I was like, we was funking fusion hard
Right.
before it became a thing. And it kind of got not spurned, but it was good. But the elders didn't really feel it. I can't say they didn't like it.
You wasn't
They
playing
didn't
that in
feel it.
church, man.
Yeah.
You was
They
going to
didn't feel it.
Like, what is that? Beat it.
Yep. Yeah, right. Because whenever I used to try to deviate, they used to look at me like, "Don't you even dare!"
Right. Yeah, it was all 2-4 at 180.
Right. Right. Whenever I used to even think about deviating, they would look back at me because they knew he's going to do some crazy stuff.
And it's crazy.
They would be
man.
like,
in church I was playing that, man, they didn't even have a hi-hat. So, they ain't care nothing about the drums, man. No, you see something on the side of the street, so I'm like, yeah, grab that. So they're gonna spend the money in the organ.
yes.
I met Skip Anderson because when the church was looking for a Hammond EB3, and so my aunt told me to look for one, right? So I'm looking in the voice and I find one in the back. And so the price is right. We go to get it at we was on 30th Street, of course. What was the studio that was downstairs? I can't remember what it was. It was one of the popular studios. Anyway, we go to get it. We meet it, and it's Skip Anderson from at the time he was playing with Lenny White.
Right.
For 29. And for anybody who knows, he went on to play with Luther.
Yeah.
He wrote the tune that Luther sang with the dancer. Man, my recall is getting bad, man. The dancer, you know what song I'm talking about?
Oh, with Luther Vandross?
Luther and the Hines brother.
Oh, Gregory.
Gregory, right? That's him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think that was a movie thing too.
Yeah. So that was a popular song. Nothing Better Than Love or whatever the name tune was. Somebody knows.
Right.
Yeah, so I got to talking to him and we end up dropping him at Lenny's house because at that time Lenny was living in Laurelton. And just from that, but again, I'm like, so y'all pay that much for an organ and y'all don't even buy a drum stool, man.
I know. Sit in the chair.
I'm sitting in the chair the whole time. That's why when I met what's his name when he was playing in that straight back chair. What's the drummer, Ainsley?
Ainsley, yeah.
I said he's straight out the storefront church with that, baby.
Yes, the chair. I played in the chair for years. I couldn't sit on a drum stool in church. It ruined me.
Man, that was some funny times, man.
I remember that with Ainsley. Yeah, he was sitting in the chair.
As soon as I saw that, man, I said he's straight out the
Let me ask you something. With the church cats now doing all the stuff they do, right? Do you think they have as much feeling and soul with giving of the music, or are they more about chops?
Of course, I'm gonna go by what I see.
Yeah.
And the majority of them is chop bass, but you have Corey Henry and certain other players that play the music and the soul, but majority of it is chops and they got that. They got the chops, but the I would say the spiritual part of it is missing.
Yeah, there is, because I know when I try to listen.
Connection is missing.
Yes, and see, I try to listen to as much contemporary music as I can, especially in the gospel thing, since we all came up in it, right? And I hear some really nice stuff. A lot of it is kind of like jazz. A lot of it KHX. I hear that out there too. You know what I'm saying? So, and they putting that spiritual feel to it. A lot of ladies are doing a lot of nice things or whatever. So I appreciate it all. But then sometimes I'm listening to something and it'll just be like a straight thing from like 10 minutes long of just like, and I miss the message.
Yeah.
You know, I miss
Yeah,
the
there's
message.
no sensitivity, there's no dynamics. To me, it's they're not playing with the choirs.
Yeah.
They're just playing loud and doing their thing.
Yeah,
And to me,
yes,
like
yes.
I don't hear the connection.
Yes,
A
yes.
lot of it, and it
Yes.
depends on who you're listening to. But I see that, and it's like everybody's going for theirs.
Yeah.
Look at me, and the choir just be screaming.
Yeah.
But
and that's what I was looking for. That word you just said, the connection between band and choir.
My thing that I hear with a lot of them, I was like, so nobody cares anything about dynamics. About it's like y'all do realize they trying to sing,
Right.
and you're playing as hard as you can.
Yes. And to me, you're working way too hard because the music will carry you. And I try to tell young bucks, like pull the reins back in.
That's the thing. But I think overall, it's become that because even the choir accepts that if it's not sounding loud, then they don't feel like they're doing anything. If it's not loud and just, at times it sounds chaotic to me. That's just it's chaotic. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I feel the same way. That's why I always try to, offer, suggestions and advice to a lot of people I see that's doing it like that because, I don't have to be in the physical building, but I do still have my ears,
Yeah. And even that is a certain approach.
Yeah.
To talk to them, I don't knock them for what they're doing. It's like, yo, this y'all era. Y'all do what y'all gonna do, but there's always an option, bro. And so just hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to change. I'm just giving you maybe, try that and just see how you like it. If you don't, then you don't do it. But have an option. Don't always be on 10.
Yeah. Right.
Because then you got nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, man. And if you start out on 10, best believe by the time you're into like the second song, the band's ears are going to be shot on stage. And
then not understand why a cat who plays pocket gets to work.
Yeah. Yep.
They looking for people to play behind them, not on top of them.
That's right. That's right.
That's
right.
And there's groups, again, like you said, we came out the fusion era. That was your job playing in those units.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. But when you're playing behind singers, it's a whole different set of your chops.
That's right. And even the fusion music had the FMPs where you listen to some of those subtleties.
Exactly. It was dynamic. It was dynamic. It still had an arrangement to it.
That's right. Dynamic. And see, that's why you mentioned Billy Cobham and Lenny White and, these great drummers, Chambers and all these guys, because that's why they could fluctuate and go from thing to thing to thing to thing.
Right.
Because it wasn't just their like, of course they got chops, baddest cats in the world. Right. But when you listen to Dennis, like you told me this, you turned me on to the Sugar Hill stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know that.
Yep. And Dave Weckl. Dave Weckl played him and the bass player. They did Natalie Cole's Inseparable album.
Oh, yes.
Joe Sample.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same dude who also played on Madonna tracks. Just like Omar. Straight pocket.
Yep.
Y'all know what he could do, but straight pocket.
Yep.
So when you listen to that, it go, you would never know that was Weckl. That shows you how great he is.
That's right.
I play what the music is called for.
Yep.
And, but again, they doing their thing and it'll come, hopefully, But I mean, right now, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Because the same thing with the keyboard players. They playing 1,000 notes. But it is what it is. Now, my thing is, the difference is when we were playing like that, because believe me, when I first got in the R&B band, I was playing Billy Cobham roles.
Yes.
In it, right? But then I was 15.
Right.
15, 16. I wasn't 20, 21, 25 playing like that behind, people. So once I moved into the especially around the way at that time, there was a lot of singing groups, males. So everything was about dynamics. Everything was breakdown. So, that whole Blue Magic, stylistics type stuff, you getting fired for playing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
You getting fired.
Yep.
So, you play what's called, and then at that time, it was about them breakdowns, man. Something as simple as that. As Bootsy would say, something as too simple as 2 and 4. What James Brown has illustrated that. Pocket. The funk, the one. You play anything more than that, then hit the door. I'm saying we listening to Stubblefield, man, and listening to that funk, that type of stuff they playing. And it's pocket. It's pocket.
Right. That's right.
I
want to give a quick shout out to James Jones and also Elizabeth watching in Ireland. I love you guys, man. I normally do my normal long thing, but I'm in the process of moving, so I got kind of things packed up a little bit, but the show must go on. We're hanging out today on Funk from the Front Seat with my guy, my brother, man, from another mothership, Mr. Kevin Harrington, man. And we just sitting here vibing. We got a little time we're going to spend, and we appreciate you guys stay active on the chat line. Go back and watch the show. My producer, Mr. Markley, I love you, brother. You mentioned something before about cats that did different things like Weckl and this and that. And you had mentioned something to me before where, you take an Anthony Jackson playing bass and, him writing the OJ's, one of their biggest hits, For the Love of Money, right? And then also, when you look at the stuff he did on the disco tune, I Will Survive, playing bass on that too. You know what I'm saying?
He killed that.
Hey, right. He killed it for sure. There's not a single double note in there that he played twice, and he proved it all the way. Yep.
That he slaughtered. Yeah, and what he did on Chaka's album.
Yeah,
I thought it brought a whole new thing now to R&B, and the bass players had to take notice. And I would say that's when cats realized I got to get a 5-string.
Yes.
Even though he was already playing a 6-string.
Yes.
You know, and a lot of cats just wasn't hip to that, but it's the way he was using it.
Yeah.
And so that's when people are like, oh, so I don't have to play a keyboard, get a 6-string bass. Yeah, I can play that low end.
Yeah,
because his grooves on that Chaka album, man, that's the tune that Ashford and Simpson wrote.
Oh, Clouds.
Woo!
I knew what you talking about right away when you said after it says, "Gotta be Clouds." Gotta be Clouds.
And again, Steve Ferroni playing drums.
Yes.
Pocket for days.
Yep.
Pocket for days.
Yep.
I remember I first heard him on the AWB Live album I had.
Yeah. Steve
Ferroni. For me, he was playing with them where he kept it interesting, but it was pocket, and I was like, him and Harvey Mason.
Yes. Yep.
That was like, this is how you could keep yourself interested, keep it slick, but never disturb the groove.
Yeah, exactly. See, and those cats, because they came out of that post James Brown on the One era, they still had that in them, which made for great recordings. Like if you go back and listen, anybody out there that's watching knows this, you go back and listen to the richness of those drum tracks, even going all the way back to the Motown stuff. You listen to that backbeat, the richness of what those cats was putting in, the George Clintons, the Bootsy, the Frankie Cash, and Jerome Braley, all of that funk stuff and all of the stuff we just talked about. There was a richness there that a lot of young drummers today are seeking, but they're jumping over it. And I wish they would just kind of go back and just listen. Don't go back to try to learn first. First, just listen. Right. Listen to Sly, how his thing was. Listen to all these different pockets and then start developing something different. Because right now we've hit the ceiling. There is nothing out there that I want to go buy or listen to. Right. Not even bands, not even bands.
I mean, it's knowing your purpose of your part in the music. And again, because when we was coming up, we had a lot of teachers, and not directly, but to listen to. Yeah. And again, like making a record is a different part of your chops than live.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's that thing. So you want live to be another level, you know, but to make a record is something that's going to be, you hope for it to be around for 50 years.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's
That's
important
right.
how you make the record.
Yep. Yep.
So, you know, and again, you know, people learn over time. Some people don't want to learn. I can't fault them with, you know, whatever's making them happy.
That's right. That's right.
You
You
know.
got a nice compliment from Keith Jackson when he was listening. They played Dirty Vamp on P Funk Radio, and he was like, "Wow, who's that on drums?" And I was like, "That's my guy, Kevin," because you did it
Thank you.
so slick, but it was so much power behind it, and so much energy, and so much stuff. But he was like, "Wow, y'all really put your foot into that." I was like, "No, man, that's his drummer. Everybody else was just floating." That was Kevin doing that chops at the end.
That was a great tune, man.
That is still a good song. It is. I listen to it to this day, and I'm like, all right, you know, a little remastering, a little polish.
We hit that hard. We definitely hit that hard.
Yeah,
you know? Shout out to Prez, but we hit that hard, Tanya.
Yes, Andre, right? It was Andre John.
Oh,
yeah. Y'all put the shine on that one, man.
Dre put his foot in that solo.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I just talked to Andre the other day, man. We were supposed to do something, but we're not going to end up doing it. It was far away, but he's doing all right. Wayne Woodford moved down here too, man. So I've been in touch with him. Yeah.
Who? You said Wayne
Woodford? He's in South Carolina. Wayne Woodford.
I don't remember him. I didn't know him.
Yeah, but he was in our circles. You just didn't know him.
Yeah, I didn't know him. Right.
Yeah, he's a killer, man.
Is Dre in North Carolina?
Who?
Andre, is he in North Carolina?
Yes, he is. He's in Asheville.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's about 3 hours from me.
Okay, southwest, which way?
Yeah.
Which way from you? Is he further south or to the west?
No. Andre is towards Kentucky. He's up in Asheville, going towards Boone, up in the mountains.
Okay.
So I would guess that's like west. I guess that's northeast.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But he's chilling over there. I talk to him regularly. We stay up on it because he's working with some local people over there. Whatever.
Yeah. I seen him posting. I would see Asheville at first. I thought maybe just went there for a gig, but then I was like, wow, he's been there a long time. Did he move? You know?
Yeah. Him and his mom. Yeah, but he's doing good. He told me to tell you hello. He's doing good, man. Because I told him I was like, Kev's coming on. He's like, oh, make sure you shout him out. And Spacey T that you never met also admires your work. Cat from California. Yeah, man. Spacey. He's insane, man. And you know, because I was turning him on to who did stuff, Revolution, this and that, and he heard that. He's like, wow, who did that? I was like, yo, that was done in Queens. My guy Kev did that, man. But yo, yeah, man. That's why we got to do part 2.
Yeah, because I was in another space there. I never did that again, man. Nothing was coming. Like that was coming to me. It was like, okay.
Yeah. I felt totally honored that you guys even put it in that space.
Yeah, you know? Man. And then to have Jeff come in and do what he did, you know, I got to have my cousins on point. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Kayla, I remember she was little and I used to bring her to the studio, you know. Now she's 19, but I used to bring her. And she used to be just hanging out, 3 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a blessing because I think about, you know, how many people that particular project has touched at a time when they needed it. You know, that's why periodically you see me drop it and put songs out and, you know, just let people know, hey, this ain't for me. This was for you guys. It always was for you guys. We didn't make this for us. We always made it for you guys. Always, man, you know. So we're hanging out with Kevin Harrington today, man. So what you got new in the KHX experiment? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I'm working on my project, you know, among some other things. Working I'm part of a what you call it? Because you know I do the licensing stuff myself.
Yes.
But I'm also part of another company. My friend Warren McCray and Trevor McGill have.
Okay.
So, you know, I submit stuff to that. And you know, with the clothing line, I'm doing that. We're in negotiations now to maybe do a gospel project with a artist from here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, just always trying to, you know, do something.
Yo, man, that's what's
Is
up, man. You know, you inspire us, man. So, you know, by all means, keep doing it. And I was looking at this back, authentic technique, you know, emotional feel, you know, tone dynamics, rhythm, tempo,
oh yeah,
space,
yeah,
phrasing.
that what's name shirt, yeah,
Yeah, I love that, man. I
yeah,
saw that. I was like, yo, that's pretty much says it all, man.
right.
But congrats, because you know, branching out and doing the licenses thing and making all of
Mhm.
these beautiful you know, merchandise pieces, individualized pieces for people, man, is definitely the wave of the future. And you know, you've always been progressive anyway. You know, so you've always had your ear. You're the first person that turned me on to Facebook when I was on MySpace. You told me, he's like, yo, man,
Mhm.
this is who they call Facebook. And I was like, what are you talking about, Facebook? I was like, I was still trying to master MySpace, and I never forget it. I was living in Staten Island. You said, nah, man, forget that. In that Kevin kind of voice. He was like, nah, man, forget that. And I was like, okay, you know, you've always been that for me and for everybody else. So that
Appreciate it.
speaks
Appreciate
volumes,
that.
man. That speaks volumes, bro. But you know, I've been noticing with this new technology and this new way we have to sell music, merch,
Mhm.
and everything else. I love the fact that you said we have to work together, because I wrote down some notes that you and I were talking about
Right.
when we was prepping the show a couple of weeks ago. Um,
Mhm.
and we was talking about working together for the greater good of humanity. Give us a little insight on what you know you feel that means.
Um, to me, it's always having the positive in whatever we do is being positive, and that's not always easy. You know, me and you know that. It,
Yeah,
we both know the low points that we've been in our life,
yeah,
and sometimes the hardest thing you want to hear is somebody saying to stay positive,
yeah.
because it's not easy.
Nah,
It's not easy, and so the state of the world, um, it's not easy. All you gotta do is turn on the news, and you be like, oh man, you know, I don't even want to leave my house.
yeah,
But again, I think the older I get, I don't want to say that is I'm desensitized, but in a sense, we've seen it.
yeah. That's right.
We've seen it, you know. So when I hear comments, and this is my personal thing, when I hear comments talking about, oh, things are getting, the relations is getting worse, I'm like, I don't know what world was y'all living in. Worse. And you can tell me when there was the period of it being good, then we can
Right,
go from there.
right.
Cause us being older, us being kids during the civil rights era, I'm like, tell me when y'all talking about. Because
Yep.
I know it was only worse before me.
Yeah.
And so since I've been here, it's like systematically it's been done a certain way, but it's never went away.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta say, we live in the age of distraction.
Yes, we do. Yep.
I even have that on the shirt. We live in the age of distraction. And marketing is the great brainwasher, that you're distracted to things that matter. Because again, they want people to be sheep and just do what we tell you. And those who don't fall for it, then you become an enemy of the state.
That's right. That's right.
And we see what happens to we've seen what happens to those people. Now instead of giving you the bullet, is more popular to ruin your character,
Besmut you. That's right.
because people, again, they such a follow the leader that they gonna believe the bad thing first.
Yep.
I was watching it's a new show that came on, in the this guy he's some type of profiler.
Oh
And
yeah, I know you talk about. Yeah.
he the cop, they were talking about a case, and the cop said, well, this case is closed, he confessed. and he said something very, which most people don't think about. He said, so if he had to say he didn't do it, would you believe him like you did because he confessed? She ain't had no answer. Of course, this is scripted, but that's true.
Yes, right. That's right.
So if I confess, you accepting all of that, because we know there's people that's coerced into confessing and didn't do it.
That's right.
But you take that, oh well, he confessed, so he did it. So if he had said he didn't do it, nah, we're gonna investigate this because we don't believe you. So why did you believe the fact that him saying I did it, opposed to if the same guy says I ain't do this?
Yep.
It's such a mindset.
That's right. That's right. You said something interesting, because as a mindset, we are, when you mentioned like sheep, right? And the age of distraction, everything now. And like you said, getting older, you start to see this, the spirit in you lets you see clearly the darkness and the light. And in this country and in this world right now,
which has been foretold, is me and you come out of scripture, so it's not anything that we wasn't told already.
That's right.
Our grandparents have been saying it way back then, and we living in it. Yep.
That's the thing. We are living it. And it's not weird, but it's just like, I'm like, well, I shouldn't be surprised.
Right. And I'm not. I'm told. Not. Right. I'm not surprised at anything, and you just see it coming. With the technology. Technology is distraction of what they're doing.
Yep.
People look at certain things as convenience.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you think that's convenient? Yo, I was laughing the other day because I remember I know we came up watching Super Friends.
Yeah.
There was an episode that they showed where computers was taking over everything.
Yeah.
So people were just sitting back in the chair, and the guy pulling the gas station, and the nozzle would come off by itself and put it in the car, and he was just sitting there doing nothing. And people thought that was great.
Yeah.
Like Twilight, they go in Twilight Zone. It was like, yeah, but they don't need you anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
Even they showed episodes like that where people were getting replaced.
Obsolete.
So here we are.
Yep. Obsolete. I had a passenger the other day in my Uber car, this lady, and we was talking, right? And she was from like Iowa, I think. And we were talking about, cars and stuff, right? So I told her, I was like, I wouldn't want a car that takes over from me. I said, I don't want anything smarter than me trying to drive me around. Right. I said, right there off the bat, there's something wrong with that. I said, because now you're basically rendering my brain useless. And my brain then says, okay, well, you got time to do other things. But I don't want to do other things when I'm driving. I want to focus on the highway,
Right.
And these little things, they slip them in subtly here, subtly there.
Exactly. And they push them off as convenience, though.
Yes. Yep.
This is the microwave age. Everybody just want, oh, great, I don't have to be doing this. I don't have to be doing that. To where it's like, you don't see that where you're not going to be needed at all, or they just going to be telling you what you're going to do.
Yep.
It's insane, man.
You ever notice sometimes? That's right. You ever notice sometimes when you just trying to make a conversation or call or text, and Google will just open itself up and be like, "Bing," what you want?
Yeah, it's listening to you the whole time.
Yes, all the time. I'm like, why are you doing this to me?
Right.
So I didn't ask for you.
Invading your privacy is being sold as convenience.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
Like, oh, so when you go online, things will pop up that it was like, okay, so how did it know that I was interested in looking for some new whatever?
Yeah.
I've been listening to you the whole time.
Yep. Now
some people go, oh man, that's fire, that's dope. Nah, man, so when you say something wrong or against somebody, they recording all of this.
They got it. That's right. They got it. Technology is a tool like anything else, and we need it for certain
things.
That's how
it should be used.
That's right. That's right. I don't know why. And there's something I want to get into you with too. I want to ask you a question about it. We're hanging out with Kevin Harrington today, man. This brother's amazing. Please follow his link tree down at the bottom. Check out his apparel line and his merch line, and everything that this brother's doing is dope. He's a reg on the show, man. So, shout him out on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. every Saturday at 12. When we look at like a lot of the technology that they're utilizing to, they claim, save the world, but yet we still, cancer, we know is big business. We know, people going off the war, coming back with prosthetics, big business. Rehab, big business. They have all this stuff planned. How can we as artists bring light to this?
It's interesting that you say that because I forgot what I was looking at. If we look at, I would say in our time, the 60s was all revolution.
Yeah.
All artists felt that they should be saying something in their songs. There it is. There's no, and I just designed this shirt and haven't put it out yet. But music is the best teacher. You put something in a song, more people will listen to that than somebody getting up making a speech or something like that.
Yep.
That's to me, that was the whole basis of hip hop.
Yeah.
You got something to say, and that was the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the platforms that other people have, but put out a song, people will listen to it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Public Enemy, my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
That was the whole basis.
Yep.
Where other people were talking about at first, the partying and stuff. Nothing wrong with that. But when you realize that, like, hey, I could put this in the record too to make people think. Yeah. And what did George Clinton say way back? Think. It's not illegal yet.
That's right. That's right.
Not yet.
Yep.
But as you can see, they're trying to get rid of that.
Yep, that's right. When Grandmaster Flash first came out with "Don't Push Me, I'm Close to the Edge," we used to all listen to it. And I had some white friends back then, right? And they didn't know. I was like, yo, this brother is talking about exactly what he sees every day. And they was like, really? I was like, yo, listen to it. Right. He's telling you, all the stuff that he sees. Grew up to be pimps makers, big money makers, right? Robbing these kids, spending 20s and 10s, and you want to grow up to be just like them. It's basically telling you, like, listen, this is the new form of information. I'm giving it to you, and I'm going to put it, like you just said, in a way that you could groove in this hip hop, whatever. Right. Because
before that, it was all spoken word. You had the last poets.
Yes.
The poets were already doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
But what happens when you got a lot of people that wasn't into it, put the music to it? Oh, now it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Because it's basically the same thing, but now put some music to it. So now the music done grabbed you, and so now you'll listen.
Yeah. People need to go back and listen to some of the stuff the last poet said, because that is even happening now.
Right.
Yep.
Again, I really gotten into some of Angela Davis stuff.
Yes.
I watch her and to talk about what was going on, and you realize that fight hasn't stopped. We've achieved some key places to get in, but even those people you got to be careful of, because along the way they lost who they were.
That's
and
right.
they become part of the system.
That's right.
So now we can't assume because somebody got the same skin tone as you that they understand and they're going to fight for you.
That's right. Chuck D said that every brother ain't a brother because of color.
Yep.
Exactly. Shout out to Chuck D.
Exactly.
Yep.
Look who got rid of Malcolm and look who got, rid of certain people.
Yep. That's right. We are chopping it up today with Kev because some of this stuff needs to be said, and I know you guys will go back and watch it. Stay active on the chat line, man. Funk from the front seat. Self-promotion, and especially the brown skin community, has always been a push-pull kind of thing, where we pushing it, but then we got other brothers and sisters trying to pull it back down. Right? So as an independent promoter, businessman, entrepreneur, what advice do you have for our young people trying to just cut out the outside noise?
Well, it's for me, I think the young people got a probably better handle on it.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I do like is that once they get on that grind, that hustle, they go.
Yeah.
My thing is, if they really educate themselves first about it, then they won't run into them same pitfalls other people
Yeah.
do, because they have the drive,
Yeah.
to do it, which is very important. But why not
Yeah.
have the drive and the knowledge to go with it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because to this day, we still getting the same thing with these artists as 60 years ago. And back then the artists didn't even have a choice. Remember at one time they couldn't even copyright their own songs. Black folks couldn't even copyright their own songs at one time. So as time went on, how is it that you're still falling into the same thing?
Yeah.
It's great to hear that some of these artists realize now that, oh, I'm gonna own my masters. They've got hip to that. Publishing, that's where your money is. When that streaming came, here comes the next robbery.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta say, for a new artist, you may want to stream first because you want to build the audience base. So it makes sense. But once you get to a certain place, stop streaming. And what did Prince show? You got to come to my site to buy my product.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you don't have, if you're established, you don't have to keep streaming. If you got a fan base and you got followers, then they'll come to where your stuff is.
Yeah. That's right.
They'll come to where your stuff is. So have a site. You cutting out them robbing you with the streaming, paying you 0.3 cent. It's ridiculous. But somebody's making the money.
That's right. That's right.
This is why we see so many tours right now by artists, because the money's being made from the live thing. Because none of them are making money off the streaming.
Yes. And I was going to get into that with you, because you're right. Because everybody is coming out of the woodwork to tour if they got the means to do it, make it pop.
Which is good for the consumer. It's good for me because you get to see people that, I'm glad to see you back out here.
Yeah. And I like the fact that, Rick James has his Stone City Band and they out doing stuff. Some of the people that passed on, they still got some of the cats doing it, keeping that name alive. I think
want to see that though, because again, the industry is overlooking our age group.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
As I always say, the original hip hop people.
Yep.
So people still want to see those acts. Like even in the 90s, like my daughter, when somebody from the 90s hits the road, them tickets, she said, hey, you don't get them tickets in the first hour, you probably ain't gonna get them.
Yeah.
Because there's a demand for that.
Yep.
But then the big companies, they not even looking at that. Like, yo, there's money. They leaving money on the table by overlooking a certain demographic.
That's right.
Because they just want to cater to the young people. Why? Because they can mold their minds.
Yep. And see, that's why your iHearts and your this and your that, and nothing against them. And again, my opinions are just that of Funk from the Front Seat, not StreamYard, not Facebook, not YouTube. Right? That's why I'm sick of those people, man, because they make it so difficult, to just perform your own stuff, let alone trying to be on and be a supporting act. They call it, they don't say opener no more. Be a supporting act, right? Because some of these supporting acts, they're contradictory to what the act is. Like I saw a folk act open up for Trombone Shorty and Dumpster Funk. And it was a girl playing folk music. Now, she was great. She was good. But just because she had a following in that area over here in North Carolina, they put her on to open, right? And I'm thinking, well, you didn't even, like you said, you didn't even look further than that.
Right.
There's other things that could have went on, to slide in that slot, including us,
Right.
But it's just bizarre, man. Like
Young
people that are running these places don't see past 30.
Right. And what you had to take into account, Zach, is so if you're a promoter, right? So now you're not looking at it from the music side. You're a promoter. You're looking at it strictly from the bottom line.
Yep.
That's it. What's going to sell? What's going to put money in my pocket? And that's an issue. Now, I can't blame a businessman. If you're in business, that's what you're in business for.
Yeah.
Again, these promoters are not the same as back when the promoters was about how great the music was, too. The music would sell itself. Now it's just about who can I get to come.
Yeah.
So like you said, if I got to put this folk singer because she has a big following in this area, that's who they're gonna get because they're trying to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why everything has turned into a jazz festival, right? And you see maybe 2 jazz acts. And
Right.
that has to do with insurance. I found that
Yeah.
out from a promoter
Uh-huh.
when I was on the road, and he was like, "Oh yeah, if it's a jazz festival, pays the lowest insurance. Nobody wants to say a hip hop festival. It's millions of dollars for insurance."
Yeah. Yeah.
So they
Mindset.
go, "Oh,
Yeah.
right." So they go, "Oh, it's a jazz fest. Make sure you put 2 jazz artists on there," and then you go, "But everybody else in here is R&B, or
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that, but why is it called a jazz fest? Call it a music fest." And that's the behind the scenes things about that. They try not to pay a bunch of insurance as a promoter.
That's right. Which and insurance actually went up even more because of the COVID thing now.
Right. It's the one thing that we don't that I know of. I haven't heard of any fights breaking out at jazz shows.
Nah.
So that's
True.
why the insurance is.
That's true
low.
though. It's a fact.
That's what happens.
Yep.
At hip hop, they almost going. We know it's going to be a shooting.
Oh, it's gonna be something happening.
So right.
Yeah.
So that's an insurance thing from the promoter's side. So that's all they're trying to do. That's why a lot of times, even with like we were saying before, funk festivals, they had to be done by musicians or a promoter that's involved with more than just the bottom line, who this music needs to be heard. There's still some out there. I saw online some pictures from what they were calling the Orange County, I think, funk festival.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Evelyn Champagne King, I enjoy her. Climax, again, this is where we realize that the word funk has grown into something, like the size of jazz. Maybe not as big, but it's all different kinds of funk now.
Yeah.
So some people will go, man, none of them people funky that's on there.
Yeah.
But certain groups can be funky because that's when we get into, the definition of the whole thing.
Yeah. It's funny because this band out of Atlanta, Funk You, they come through here, they'll do the link or whatever, and they down there and they tour Motet. And these guys that were listening to a lot of Herbie and Fusion and Chick Corea stuff have now crossed that over with their own progressive kind of whatever they're learning coming out of college kind of thing. And they're playing funk-ish stuff.
Right.
But it's not funky, but they don't even have a category for when they go out, but yet they still getting the work because of their skin color. And this is what be pissing me off, because they're not even the promoters know, like you said, okay, if we put these white guys up there, they may not be playing as funky or whatever, but we feel there'll be less of a chance of violence. And see, that's so discriminatory against acts that really want to get out there and pop,
Yeah, but that's Louis Armstrong and them, and then Dixieland came. Why? Because y'all couldn't play what they were playing.
Right.
So we'll call what we do something else.
He said Dixieland. You're right, no.
Do something else. You know that you see they never mess with bebop. That's
right.
We're not gonna try to do something else like either you can play it or you can't.
Right. That's true though, man. But go ahead.
It's what that's what happens, and that's the system. And at times it's like it's not right, but then you just gotta go, what can we do ourselves?
Yeah.
Because you can't always like, hey, if that's what they want to do and that's what they want to do, we got to be self-sufficient on our own end.
That's right. That's right.
And our people have always done that.
Yeah.
You had that discussion about the funk world coming together, building some type of alliance to help each other.
Yeah.
I just think there has to be that parent company, and then everything else you have to put on your old show. Like I always said, what Sinbad was doing to me was it.
Yeah.
That was it. He ain't getting no help though.
Yeah.
That should have never went away. But to me, that was the prototype.
Yeah.
And he could do that every year, then it could be done.
Yep, that's right. That's right. And we have enough black dollars. I'm sick of people saying there's no black money. That's not true.
Black folks get richer every year.
Yep.
You know, it's just the mind focus on what they want to do is just getting that right connection. What you're doing, being a bachelor with Bootsy and his wife. I just think sometimes like people like him would have to go to the table and to say like a Bob Johnson, and not even somebody there, but somebody with some money, a ball player that, I came up on this with my parents. Sometimes you just gotta find them because they got the money.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to do that.
Exactly. Because like you said, we still here. Our generation, it's not like it used to be. We are all living prosperously in our spirit longer because health is better, this is better, that's better, whatever, right? I'm not saying it's better spiritually, but so they forgot there's not even any radio stations for us to listen to.
Right.
Even on satellite, they'll be playing P-Funk or Bootsy or Dumpster Funk or, Roger Troutman or Bernard Wright or whoever, and they'll be calling it soul.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, even in the internet world, you can't even give what it is it's due.
Right.
This is why I constantly pump Tom Brown. He's a nice guy. I met him down here. I constantly try to pump people like Bernard Wright. I constantly push that stuff out there, to people because I want them to know, listen, there's a whole nother category of music you guys ain't even listening to that you need to hear. If you say you like music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you say so. We hanging out there. Yo, bro, you mind if I show one of your videos? I got a couple in here, man. We're hanging out with Kevin. Y'all sit back, man. We still got a little bit of time to spend with this brother. We're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening up on the hill and, hanging out and talking about his new apparel and how, we need independence in our community. But y'all check this out, man. This one talented brother, man. Peep this, yo.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Today on Musician Rewind, we have KHX, the Kevin Harrington Experiment. We're going to get into his latest single, Smooth Oasis, featuring John Groovalicious Willis, and then we're going to get into the rest of the project.
Okay, that's a wrap.
I forget. That's at the end, yo.
Yeah.
Kudos, man. Kudos,
Yeah,
man.
she's at the end of my next one.
I love that.
Just because I is with her, she's interested, and I bought her a keyboard and stuff, and so that's become my thing. And in my videos, she'll always be doing that, and you'll see the growth because she's older now. So people always also see how she's getting older. So she'll always be saying that it's a wrap. That's my thing for my videos.
Yo, I love that, man. Yo, I love it. Yo, that is so slick. So tell us a little bit about that concept before we get back into the other clothing thing. But when you were making that, thinking about that music and putting it together, what did you really want to do? Because to me, it's amazing. I sit back and watch it every now and then, and to see groove in there,
So when I do my thing, so Kevin Harrington Experiment is just what it is. There'll be different styles of music. So I'm always gonna be featuring somebody. It's more so that. So of course with John, because like even with John, right? So people that know that we play with Nappy Head, and you heard John, but then probably wouldn't expect John to be smooth like that.
Yeah.
Even when you listen to his project. I told him, I said, wow, people be surprised that you can be as raunchy as you are and then be as smooth as you are.
Yeah.
And again, because when we came up in music, we was listening to everything.
That's right.
I didn't want to do just the one thing. So I've always, lean that way. But again, doing your project showed my other thing. Even in when we was doing that was funk based.
Yeah.
I haven't even gotten to that with me. Only now, here's the other thing. I know we haven't gotten to it yet. As far as promoting your stuff.
Yeah.
So being experimental, I'm like, okay, I want to do whatever kind of music I want to do. But here where the roadblock came. When you're trying to promote it to stations, here comes the lanes.
Right.
Like they're not gonna take that whole thing. Oh no, we only play R&B. Oh no, we only play smooth jazz. And so you got this other stuff on there. So now I can't send the whole thing.
Yeah.
To one station.
Yeah.
So now that's where it started getting split up. And then I realized that, okay, so they're showing me that my next project, I'm gonna have to do smooth jazz, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do funk, the whole thing. I'm gonna have to do whatever, the whole thing, to get it, because they just will not take it. Them days of those stations is over.
Yeah.
They want it to be, whatever it is that they do. To where again, when we was coming up, radio play whatever was good music.
Yeah, it was all exactly. That was the whole purpose of listening to the radio, to hear something new. That's where you heard all your new. First time I heard,
it was good for us. I'm glad that was going on in our time.
Yep, me too.
Because that exposed me to all kinds of music.
Yep.
I listen to classical.
Me too.
Everything.
Yep. I remember the first time I heard Sammy Davis Jr. singing Candyman. I was like, what? Right, who can make the sun rise? Right. I was like, you mean to tell me this how he got to get on? This how he got to get on the Sammy freaking Davis Jr.
Right.
Singing Candyman.
Right. But can do it. That was the other thing, though.
That was the thing, though. He pulled it off. Yeah.
Right. So there goes the people with their mouth dropping. Go, wow. We thought all y'all did was sing blues and rhythm, and
Yep. And perfect example. Remember Elvis Presley came out with that song, In the Ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Now, how the hell, you Elvis, come on now. But he pulled it off because he was good. But again, he was singing about the ghetto. And even as black people was like, okay, the song pretty good. It made me feel a certain way. But I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even on the just on the fact of the word ghetto, it depends on the world where you are, because everybody don't look like us in the ghetto. So
that's right.
You can go to certain places and they're gonna, whatever the majority of people look like, there's gonna be a ghetto area.
That's right. And you know what? I was just thinking about this the other day, and this is totally off the subject. But when I watch all these shows, and nothing against, Tyler Perry and this and that and BT, because I know they're doing what they do. But I'm like, I told somebody, we've talked about it in the car, and I was like, that ain't no proper representation of black people. I tell you right now, it's not. And they pushing that narrative.
Well, let's understand, BT not owned by us, so that's what people need to understand. Bob Johnson sold that. Unitel had this, so the people who own MTV own that. Yep. So we ain't getting to pick what the narrative. We ain't getting to pick the narrative.
Like, I don't know black people that dress like that. I don't know black people that talk like that, and we definitely don't spend hours and hours in the house fighting each other over BS.
Exactly.
So why you think that? Why you pushing that narrative?
Right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Again, that definitely goes to what Malcolm always said. You got to have your own. You have to. Yep. And every other group does.
Yep.
Every other group does. Telemundo, NBC.
Right.
But who is that? They get to do their own thing.
Yeah, right. It's funny though. It's true. It's true. Sábado y Domingo. They had that a long time ago.
How come that they didn't want Bill Cosby to buy NBC? You know why?
Yeah. Yep.
It would have been the dominating network.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Yeah.
Can't have that. So what's my man? Byron.
Oh yes, Byron Allen.
Byron
right?
Allen.
Yes.
He's doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because it comes a time you got to stop talking about, I want to seat at the table. Make your own table with excellent carpenters. As they said, make your own table. Who says you have to keep trying to do that?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't need that validation.
That's right. And see, that you just said the key word. We don't need the validation because it's already been validated what it is.
Exactly. They're copying us. We ain't spending thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to get no injections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So who you copying? I ain't laying out in the sun risking skin cancer trying to get dark.
Yeah.
I got melanin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
see, and the crazy part is the government treat these crazy people, prostitutes and high-priced prostitution got people convinced that we have to constantly fight each other and hate each other just so they can continue to steal more. And then half the time we're doing stuff to ourselves and don't realize it.
But that's what I'm saying. Distraction. Yeah. So if people go back through history and they'll see that what any system doesn't want is the people unite. You don't, because first of all, there's poor people in every color of the rainbow.
Yeah.
What they don't want is for them to get together and realize, hey, I don't have a problem with you. Guess who's telling us that we should have the problem?
That's right.
That's when the issues come.
Yep.
When they used to say the all power to the people, all power to the people, not just power to the people, all power to the people. And when you start seeing them groups get together in the 60s and going, yo, we've been duped. They've been telling me certain things about you, but now I'm realizing that y'all not the issue. Y'all not the problem. We all paying taxes, and look what they doing with it. So they want me to blame you for the way things is going. Really? I ain't taking money from you before you even see it.
That's right.
They're trying to tell me, oh, well, you're on the system. First of all, everybody on the hill is on the system. What are you talking about?
Right.
They're getting paid through your tax money.
Yep.
So, like you said, that's been the issue. So as long as they can keep people fighting, they can keep doing what they're doing. But anytime they see a powerful voice come to unite, gotta go. That person gotta go. We've seen that through history.
Yeah. And I'm praying this time around. I was just gonna say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm praying this time around when we see what's getting ready to happen again, what just happened 3.5 years ago, whatever, right? I really pray and hope that people have heeded the warning and the lessons. Like, don't get caught up into trying to hurt people, intimidate people, scare people. Just let the thing play out, because it's going to play out like it's supposed to anyway. Because we don't really, there's no way somebody that's 75 years old that's been in Washington, D.C. for 55 plus years can relate to me. And they got millions and I'm working with hundreds. You know what I'm saying? Right. It can't be done. Right. And like George Carlin said, we were never part of the game. He said that as common, never part of the game. Now, because of guys like you and things that we're trying to do, and your company and things that I'm trying to do, whatever, hopefully people can watch some of this stuff and be like, okay, if they need that little push, here's your little push. Just do it. Because I can tell you, I talked to this brother before this thing even started 4 years ago, about I wanted to do something. Him and I talked in the car about it, and we talked about it for months before I even brought it to Mark, about just trying to bring this whole funk thing together. So God made that a reality. So anything you set your mind to, trust me, you can do it. You can do it, man.
Yeah. It's not always easy, and it's going to be some pushback, but like I always said to you though, there's some people somewhere else trying to do the same thing. And if everybody can find each other, there's more strength in the unity. You pool your resources and stuff like that, because when you're separated, then you're going on what you have. There's no way we're the only ones trying to do this. And but that's the thing, everybody's all spread out. That's why.
Yeah. I know Bootsy just put a video out that I copied and pasted to my page. If you guys want to watch that, it's really cool. It's about like 2-3 minutes, but he was just talking about the genesis of the mothership and what actually it was purposely for. Because the reason he said George did that, because he wanted everybody, all those groups, to spread out and just go. That was the purpose. That Bootsy broke it down like that, and now that it's still teetering, and don't forget, shout out Tony Cam and Funk All Stars. We play on New Year's Eve up in Virginia somewhere, so I'll be with them. But now that we're at this point where you could be in one state, I can be in another, and we can use all this technology that we've had for the past 30 years and really make it work. I really want other people to get the idea of tribe, because I think, in my opinion, that's what we're missing. Is the tribe, Right. It's the okay, I can do this and you can do that, so let's switch off and trade, instead of bringing in an outside force. What are your thoughts on that?
What you're saying makes perfect sense. That's what you do. I mean, at one time, people wasn't using money. That's what they were doing. I got this skill. You got this skill. I'll do this for you. You do this for me. That's to me, that's what the working together, thing is for the common cause. And I mean, this is where, with technology, you can reach the globe. So that's the good thing. With the push of a button. That's the good thing. So, a lot of things, like you'll see all these people come on and I can tell you how to do this. I can tell you how to do all of that. And it was like, yeah, I think if you could, you wouldn't be on here trying to help nobody. But, that's just me. The fact of the matter is when you start a campaign, it's almost like you got to do come up with ideas, like what you consider using, funk heads. You make that a movement. You know what I'm saying? And this is for people who listen to the music, because that's really who you're going to need the support from. The people who listen to it. So if that was the thing, the funk heads of the world, then that's who you want to reach out to, because if you could grab new people, that'd be great. But we already know who's out here. again, because we still here, you know, it was my sister, you know, God bless her, rest in peace, who turned me on to Parliament. My sister took me to my first live show, you know, to see R&B and soul groups.
Yeah.
So she was always doing that. So you have people who love the music who don't play anything.
Yeah.
They just love the music. So now it's about orchestrating that.
Yeah.
Again, this is where I go back to Sinbad. He was doing it. So people were like, yeah. So people who love that music were going to that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just a thing. If it's going to be that that thing, then a campaign really has to, you marketing wise, you have to target that to get the people who love that music. You got to get them somehow in a group.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, be able to reach out to them. This is happening here because it's not just here. You know, as much as I stayed in Europe, they love it over there.
Yeah,
they love it over there. Again, we talking about. I know this was years ago, but Alexander O'Neal, who I always liked, sold out Wembley Stadium 2 nights by himself.
Wow.
By himself.
Wow. And
So,
Wembley, that's the piece de resistance over there,
exactly.
Wembley.
So again, you know, somebody may go, yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, but all them people ain't died off.
That's right.
You know, these are the people that's not buying records no more because ain't nobody making nothing they want to hear.
Yep.
So that's an audience that has to be targeted. Like, where the funk heads at? They looking at, because their thing is like, who's making the new music like we like?
Yep.
And again, you know, the platform's getting thrown in your face of who they want you to see, but this is where the internet and everything comes into play, and it's, you know, it can be done. It's just a campaign that has to be promoted, and you know, and there's the other thing. Everything takes money.
Yep.
But,
shout out to George DeFuncovinci, Elizabetta, James Jones, and another brother that just dropped something. So appreciate
a great artist he is. He does great work, man. George does great work.
Yeah, he does his thing for sure. He's a true funk soldier, club funketeer, ambassador, and artist as well. You know, so we appreciate you, George, man. You the man. You know, when we look at a lot of the comparisons to styles of how you want to put your music out there, how you want to market it. The thing that bothers me is that you can buy algorithms, numbers, and prop that, attach that to your stuff. And I tell people a lot of these numbers are not real. They're juiced, you know. What do you think about that?
I would say that's part of the game. That's part of the game. That is an old practice. That's nothing that the majors don't still do to this day. The majors now, they still do that because it's perception. If people, I put it like this: how does the con artist work? He makes you think that he's doing a certain thing.
Right.
So I can drive up in whatever is an expensive car. Never said it was mine. I never said this car was mine. Here goes people's perception. Oh, wow, he's driving a nice car. He must have money. They thought that. I never told them that.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole scam. I never told you that. I'm gonna get out in a nice suit. Now I'm gonna come talk my hustle. Here come the pimp game. Here come the pimp game. I got $2 in my pocket, but I'm gonna make y'all think that. And we seen it on large scales, man. We seen people pull that off. You know, people do it to banks. They'll come in the bank and just look at the way somebody dressed. Now, of course, it's harder for our skin tone, but then that's why you have somebody work for you. You go in there and get this loan because they're gonna think you own the company. You never said that you owned it, but they looking at your skin color, then use it to your advantage.
That's right. That's right. That's
you know,
right.
and there's organizations that do that. But that became part of the whole thing, that labels would buy their own artist records to make it seem that it was doing well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the only thing that people are respecting. So, you know, the kids get taken in by that to go, yeah, you know, what's the name? You may say, yeah, that record ain't that hot to me. Yeah, well, it sold 2 million. Okay, see, you think it sold 2 million because that's what they said. The company had to buy 1.5 million of them. But if it makes the public think that's what happened, then there you go.
Yep, that's right.
And that's part of it. So that's why you can buy numbers. Because when people see your stuff, they go, oh man, yo, his stuff is doing good. It's for that reason. Now, for those of us come from a certain era, we don't like that. But again, we got to understand that's the game.
Yeah, it is.
This is how people are getting out there. So then you go, well, I can't keep bringing this bat and everybody's got 9s on their show on their hips. I can't win. I'm carrying a bat. They can shoot me before I even get close.
That's right. That's right.
Because, you know, part of the game. And my thing is, people got to do what they got to do. And I think sometimes as musicians, when we come from, is why we get left in a certain area, because we're not willing to play that game.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, we can't complain that some no talented dude is doing this and now he's on TV and blah, blah, blah. Why? Because they're willing to do whatever. You know, they don't have that, you know, I'm not a good musician, I'm not a good bass player or whatever it is. However, I'm gonna make somebody think that I am. Yeah. Because with all this technology out here, I don't play half the instruments. You know, I play them good enough that I know what I want to hear. But I'm no superb, you know, instrument on nothing else. And you like you said, it's a tool, so you use it to your advantage. And that's just something that they started, where people could buy numbers. Back in the 80s, we had a producer hit me and my partner to this. He said, hey, he said, if you got the money, he said, your tune could come out at number 5 with a bullet, if that's where you want it to be. Yeah. And when he told me that, I realized the whole thing is it's just a game.
It's the money.
It's just a game. It's a money thing. You could pay to have your record where you want it to be, point blank. So when we see the award shows now and people be upset, being that I know the game, I go, yeah, okay. Nothing to get mad about.
That's right.
You go.
I only hear about them. Yep. I watched the replays on YouTube. I haven't sat down and actually watched an award show in forever until we all get on one. Me, you, Jeff, everybody else. Yo, we got a dope comment. Mark Lee, get ready to jump on. Also, shout out to Georgia Funk Vinci. Back in the day, radio stations helped with sales because you only heard what was played. That's right.
Right. And look at the payola scandals that used to be back then.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
People were paying. People were paying that their record play. Sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes that's the only way they could get them on.
Yeah.
You know, because again, especially as artists of color, we was facing a whole nother situation. So, you know, when you watch Cadillac Records, my man did what he had to do to get Muddy Waters on the air, because he knows they're not gonna play no black artists unless I'm giving them something.
Yep.
So that was a reality. That was a reality across the board. Yeah, you know, we not playing this. Our sponsor ain't gonna have it.
That's right. And see, that's why when Little Richard and all of them was first coming through, that's why I get so pissed off that he don't have no statues and he ain't on the Mount Rushmore, because he's one of the few people that flipped it 2 or 3 times, you know, put white stuff on his face so he could be more palatable to the audience. They had him tone down his, what they considered racist movements and shaking his hips and this and that and putting his leg on the keyboard and gyrating what Elvis was basically doing, watching him, and then Elvis comes out and does it. And then they're like, okay, well, you get away with it.
But you know what? But then let's remember the early days of Elvis, he had to take the flack.
Yeah.
They was like, we don't want our children watching this guy. However, when they realized rock and roll wasn't going nowhere, their thing was, well, let us be the top of it. That's all it was. Let us be the top of it. And that's something they still haven't been able to do with hip hop. But they've tried. They've been trying, but they couldn't do it. But back then it was like, okay, this is not going anywhere. Then let Elvis be the king. Because they ain't like him either when he came. Talking about all that gyrating and stuff he was doing. What did they say? Because he was dancing like black people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But when they saw that even the promoters was going, are you kidding me? I ain't giving up this money.
Right.
I better figure something else out.
Right. And we're going to put him in movies too.
Right. Figure something else out. And so it became that. All right, well, then we'll have to be in charge of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In the story.
You know what's weird? Like, Mark, come on and jump in this conversation. But you know what's weird? Like, there used to be a buffer zone between movies, toys, products, and music. Whereas, yes, they put out a song, but then you might hear the song in the movie as a track or whatever, or some scene or something. But then they may come out with a toy or a doll after. Now, when these people are sitting in these corporate offices, they have the whole thing, the doll, the fast food that they're going to link it to, commercial, right? Kentucky Fried or whatever, Taco Bell. I don't eat none of that crap, and neither should y'all.
Nope.
Shout out to my boo and her family. And then they have, okay, we already got it set up for this movie. So it's all of this stuff is going to drop, then the song going to drop, then it's going to be in this tour, right? So they basically lock this stuff in such a way to where there's no it just feels so styrofoamish, like another styrofoam cup coming out of the bag. You know what I'm saying? And that bothers me, man.
I mean,
Mark, you had a comment. Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, a couple of things. One is called a monopoly.
No, Kevin, he was going to say something.
No, let him go ahead. Go on, Mark, say.
Yeah, it's called a monopoly because that's what it's all about. You look at who owns the venues, who owns the labels, and a number of other things. And I think about like people like Live Nation and a number of other ones in that space. So they also tapped into the toy and the movie industry as well. And I'm sure that Kevin knows that. I was actually going to mention something that he mentioned earlier because he's talking about that old school style of payola. But I also remember the record pools. And I'm sure that Kevin remembers the record pools as well. Yep. DJs that would get together and that would be a way to get the music out and all along those lines. But what I mentioned to you earlier, and I'd love to hear your thoughts around this, Kevin, is the Global Music Initiative. So President Biden has put that out. There was actually a kind of a press announcement about it with Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, who apparently is an amateur musician, and he was actually playing Muddy Waters and all along those lines. So he's playing Hoochie Coochie Man, and apparently he's a pretty decent musician, but it is to get musicians of various genres. I didn't see enough funk, but I did see that they were going to take some jazz to like China, to Saudi Arabia, to a number of other places, and the applications actually start in November. So I think that Zach needs to apply. I think you need to apply too. So maybe this is a way to...
You should get the application, bro. That's your job.
But here's the thing about that. Jazz has always been at all those countries. Because I don't see where they're doing anything new. There's jazz artists right now been to every country that they mentioned. So I'm kind of want to know what it is that they think that they